This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, it never has, and it never will matter who the host is. Anyways, how are you? Yes, how are you? How are you doing? How are things? How has it been? It's been at least 23 hours, at least. Maybe less, depending on where you were hanging. So how are things in your neck of the woods? Because I'm always kind of curious about that. Anyways, today is Fabulous Whip 'em Out Wednesday. It's August the 23rd of 2023, day 235 of the year, and only 130 days left to go. I'm telling you, we're already on that other side. I mean, in no time, we'll be down to double digits as this year comes to an end. Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes, hanging out over there, doing the things we get to do, no doubt about that. So that's for sure, as we are hanging out and doing all the fun stuff. So with that being said, let's talk about this. We are a show that talks about safety and the news and safety. Kind of the way that it goes. Talk about safety and the news and safety. Simple process, I think. We talk about the things that are going on in the news. Most people ask why, because we want you to know, so that way if you're interacting with the people you hang out with at work, you have something topical to talk about. Yeah, something topical to talk about. To be able to move forward and all that kind of fun stuff. Outside of that, well, it gets interesting. Because we have a main story. We have some things that we goof around on. And all that kind of fun stuff. So, I don't know. I get kind of hung up and kind of weirded out about some of the stuff that we talk about here. And I'm sure today's topic will be one of those scenarios as well. Anyways, so let's go into what the hell was trending in the overnight, because I think this might be slightly important as we are hanging out. So let's talk about the trends.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so in taking a look around at what was trending, a prolific fast food spot eyes new ownership. Yeah, Fast food spot eyes new ownership, and the Japanese dog man is living his best life. We'll talk about that. Drew Barrymore gets some unwanted attention, and another singer has dropped out of Scott Brown's, group. Let's see. Sex and the City reboot gets renewed, and Lionsgate is making their employees mask up. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about what is going on inside of our world, though, inside of, the world of safety. So if you want to interact with the show, callinradio.com is the best way to do so. It's the texting, it's the video messaging, it's the audio messaging. I try to get to them. I try to pay attention, try being the key word inside of that sequence of events. So there you go. So let's do this because, we're already into it on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday. Oh, yeah, pictures can be sent there. So with that being said, let's talk about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the news, because I got Trey Thomas waiting over there wanting to tell you. So let's do that. What do you think? Yeah, let's do that.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
NBC News Radio, I'm Mark Mayfield. Republican presidential candidates will face off on the debate stage in Milwaukee this evening. 8 candidates will participate in the first debate of the 2024 presidential primary, including Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former Vice President Mike Pence, and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. The event, hosted by Fox News, however, will be without the party's frontrunner Donald Trump. Trump has decided to skip the debate and has instead recorded an interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson. Reports suggest that former Trump attorney and New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani will surrender himself Wednesday in the Georgia election interference criminal case. Andrew Whitman has more.
ABC News reporting Giuliani will head to Atlanta Wednesday alongside former New York City Police Commissioner Bernard Kerik, who will assist Giuliani through the process. Giuliani's lawyers will reportedly try to work with DA Fani Willis's office on a bond package beforehand. Donald Trump has said he'll surrender Thursday in Atlanta. Andrew Whitman, New York.
Much of the central U.S. is dealing with an extremely dangerous heat dome. Forecasters say high temperatures on Wednesday could surpass 100 degrees in some areas from the Midwest to the Gulf Coast. Major cities under extreme heat alerts this week include Dallas, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Louisville, and Nashville. Members of the Teamsters Union have ratified a 5-year deal at UPS. Ryan Shook reports.
That puts an end to the threat of a strike. According to the union, 86% of the members voted for the contract, which will be retroactively in effect starting August 1st. The Teamsters president said it was the best contract in the history of UPS. I'm Brian Shook.
And a new survey indicates 1 in 3 Americans have a tattoo. The survey done by Pew Research found the most common reason to get a tattoo was to remember someone or something. 1 in 3 people say they got their ink to improve their appearance. You're listening to the latest from NBC News Radio.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
From FSN in London, I'm Nina Maria Potts with the latest world headlines. Russian authorities say a drone hit a bit of central Moscow that was under construction, and that 2 drones have been shot down in the Moscow region. Zimbabwe is holding presidential and parliamentary elections with crippling inflation, the main issue driving the campaigns. And Japan is monitoring and testing radioactive treated wastewater for remaining isotopes ahead of releasing it into the Pacific Ocean from Thursday.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Former Trump attorney John Eastman is out on bond after surrendering to police as part of the 2020 election interference case in Georgia. Eastman responded to reporters' questions outside the jailhouse.
Do you still think the election was stolen?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Still.
No question. No question in my mind.
Eastman is one of former President Trump's 18 co-defendants facing criminal charges. Trump is expected to be booked at the same Fulton County jail on Thursday. The Biden administration is announcing a new income-based student loan repayment plan. The Savings on Value Education SAVE plan will allow more borrowers to qualify for 0 monthly payments. Any individual making less than $32,800 a year and any family of 4 making less than $67,500 per year will have $0 payments. The news comes just weeks before interest will start accruing on student loans for the first time in over 3 years. Borrowers can visit the federal student aid website to apply for the SAVE program. President Biden said the administration will never stop fighting to deliver relief to borrowers and to bring the promise of college to more Americans. Depp versus Heard is dominating on Netflix. Lisa Taylor explains.
Can you please tell the jury why you're here today?
Ms. Heard accused me of abuse.
My ex-husband is suing me.
The docuseries following Johnny Depp's highly publicized defamation case against his former wife, Amber Heard, opened at number 1 on the streaming platform's top 10 English-language TV chart. Between August 14th and 20th, the show earned more than 16 million total views. Coming in at second place, the limited series Painkiller earned over 7 million views. Ballers, Season 1, came in third place, while At Home with the Furies placed fourth. I'm Lisa Taylor.
And Harold has been downgraded to a tropical depression after making landfall as a tropical storm in South Texas on Tuesday. Forecasters say it's still forecast to bring heavy rains and powerful winds to the region as it moves inland. Mark Mayfield, NBC News Radio.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Well, you know that here at Safety FM and Radio Big, we're always trying to look for life hacks. So with the busy season just around the corner, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for your jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kits, can help you fuel up with fast chef prepared, dietitian approved, and ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. Refresh your healthy habits without missing a beat. Choose from 34 weekly flavored packs. Dietitian-approved meals ready to eat in 2 minutes. All you need to do is head over to factorsmeals.com/safetyfm50 and use code safetyfm50 to get 50% off. That's code safetyfm50 at factormeals.com/safetyfm50 to get 50% off. Go there. Do it now.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK. Do you have a claim and not sure where to turn? Coastal Claim Consultants are professionally licensed and bonded public insurance adjusters employed exclusively by you, the policyholder, to represent you after sustaining an insured loss. They assist policyholders in all aspects of processing the claim, working closely with the insured to provide the most equitable and timely settlement possible. They will provide you with comprehensive service, anything from inspecting the loss site, analyzing damages, compiling claim support data, reviewing applicable coverages, assessing replacement costs of damages, and negotiating your settlement. The adjusters at Coastal Claim Consultants will evaluate your claim for no upfront cost whatsoever. Coastal Claim Consultants' fee is based on contingency contracts and are paid when the insurance company sends you a check and it's in your possession. Coastal Claim Consultants are licensed to assist you in the following states: Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Georgia, and South Carolina. For more information, go to coastal-cc.com. That's coastal-cc.com. For more information, lighting the way to recovery. Coastal Claim Consultants.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those
well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. Warning. Listening to other radio stations could cause testicle shrinkage.
I'm talking truth.
Okay, you definitely want to do that instead. Okay, so anyways, yeah, let's take a look. 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are here on this lovely Whip Them Out Wednesday. Yeah, that's what's going on. It is Wednesday, and we have the availability of doing that. Anyways, before I forget and get too far away, let's talk about this real quick, because it's like upcoming. It is right around the corner. It is the event of events. It is the Conklin event coming up on September the 27th through the 29th. Yep, 27th through the 29th of 2023 of September. You can come out to the Conklin Conference. You know, the Do Safety Differently workshop. Maybe that's the way to talk about it. You have the opportunity to see Jennifer Long, Bob Edwards, Mark Yeston, and Andrea Baker, of course. Todd Conklin, of course, will be there. You can come and hang out and see exactly what's going on. Interact over the 3 days here in Orlando. If you want to find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.io to find out some more information. That will be everything that is going on inside of there. No doubt about that one. So there you go, safetyfm.io, Conklin Conference coming into Orlando. Anyways, let's talk real quick about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the shit list, because that is what we do around here. The guy who produced the disastrous fire festival that wasn't in the Caribbean in 2017 and went to prison and faced solitary confinement for months after a result of fraud is officially back for round two, sort of. In a YouTube video, Billy McFarland says that he identified a site for the next go-around. It will be the Caribbean again towards the end of next year, but that's it for details. Even so, you too can get into the action. The tickets are going on sale between $499 and $7,999. McFarland has publicly said that he's committed to paying back the $26 million that he cheated festival goers and partners the first time around. So there you go. He has to figure out the way of how being able to pay them. So there you go.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, a local in Maui tells the Daily Mail that there has been at least 480 people confirmed dead from extensive wildfires earlier this month, and that the morgue ran out of body bags and that needed it to be more to be shipped. Let's see. Worth noting as a yet unexpected reason, local officials have not updated the body count since the weekend when it stood around 115. An estimated 800 people are still missing. This is all according to the Daily Mail. So what do you think? I mean, it's interesting that you would not update that, but I wonder if you have to have like an official update. Now, I'm being serious when I say that. An official update, because it's weird. I will tell you, I have seen incident investigations where someone cannot be deemed dead until the coroner shows up. Yeah, the coroner has to show up before they can be deemed dead. Weird world, I know. Anyways, sandwich chain Subway is eyeing a sale of the same group that owns significant stakes in Arby and Buffalo Wild Wings. The Wall Street Journal reports that Rourke Capital is close to finalizing a purchase of Subway for $9.6 billion. Go figure. Subway actually has the most locations of any fast food joint in the United States, beating McDonald's, although the Arches has the most global locations. So think about that. $9.6 billion in regards of what is going on. So just some interesting stuff, no doubt about that. Okay, take a listen to this. An 84-year-old Colorado woman is over halfway to her goal of 1,000 skydives after taking her first jump at the age of 20 back in 1959. Kim Noor knew Yeah, Kim Noor knew that she had found her calling. She loved the rush so much that she joined the first women's parachute team back in 1962. Then life, kids, and an accident involving her husband forced her to hang up the parachute for about 37 years. Now she is taking on the sky once again with a hefty goal in mind. Should she accomplish the feat, Noor will be awarded the Gold Wings from the U.S. Parachute Association. This is according to CBS News. So hold on. She wants 1,000 jumps. She's at halfway of her goal. I mean, 1959 and she's in her 20s. I'm just trying to do some math here. You're going to have to be jumping several times a day, I would imagine, to get it all to work out well. What do you think? I'm just asking the question, so there you go. Anyways, take a listen to this. Remember the guy from Japan who spent over $14,000 to turn himself into a collie named Toko? Well, he has recently spotted being carted around in Tokyo in a canine-approved wagon. During his outing, Toko stopped for belly rubs, head scratches, and selfies by the passerbyers. On a normal day, Toko says that he enjoys playing fetch, napping in his kennel, and pretending to eat dog food, all which he films for about 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. Also worth noting, the psychologists believe that Toko is part of a group called Therians, and people who identify with non-human animal species. This is identified from a furry who enjoys occasional dressing up as an animal-like costume. This is according to the New York Post. How are there multiple groups with names for people who like to parade around in animal get-ups? It gets interesting.
Who truly cares what this guy has to say? Who gives a shit? Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so that gets pretty interesting right away when you start thinking about it. No doubt about that. That is for sure. Anyways, with that being said, I think it is time. Yes, it is time-o for us to bring in good old John Smalls and let him tell us about what the hell is going on inside of the market beat. Where's John?
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Tuesday, August 22nd. Brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. Equity markets seesawed Monday, with hope winning out in the end. The S&P 500 gained more than 0.5% at the session's close to potentially end a multi-week losing streak. This week's market risk lies in earnings reports from retailers and from the start of the Jackson Hole Summit. The news from the summit is expected to center around inflation and the Fed's long-term trajectory, which is not expected to change. The next reading of inflation data is not for 2 more weeks. News from the housing market could cap gains this week. The average rate on a 30-year mortgage approached 7.5% again and is expected to dampen demand. At the pace the Fed is expected to hike rates this year, the rate on the 30-year could top 8% by December and effectively close the housing market to most homebuyers. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at MarketBeatMinute.com.
Okay, thank you, John Smalls, for that one right there. No doubt about that. Let me tell you a little bit of what I was able to locate inside of the information, because, hey, why would we not do that? The Dow lost about 174 points to close at 34,288 on Tuesday. The S&P lost about 12 points to close at 4,387, and NASDAQ added about 8 points to close at 13,505. West Texas Intermediate closed at $80 a barrel, and Brent crude was at about $83 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was at $3.85. Bitcoin slid again on Tuesday. Let's see, more than 1.1%, trading just around 25,800. There was about 2,365 flights delayed within and into and out of the United States on Tuesday, and about 80 cancellations, which is really good compared to most days that we see. And tonight's Powerball drawing will be for $313 million jackpot or $150 million cash payout. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on right there. Should we talk about this? I don't know. Maybe we should leave that for hour 2. I mean, does anybody care about this this whole thing about the music stuff? Yeah, we'll talk about that during hour 2. We'll talk about Ariana Grande. Yeah, well, we'll talk about that. That's not important here. Okay, so let's take a listen real quick. Republican presidential candidates will face off on the debate stage in Milwaukee on Wednesday evening. NBC's Garrett has more.
The biggest night of the presidential primary season so far, debate night in Wisconsin. 8 candidates on the stage tonight, all the Republicans vying for the nomination except the frontrunner, Donald Trump, not here.
Okay, candidates will include Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former Vice President Mike Pence, and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Trump has decided to skip the debate and has instead recorded an interview with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson. So I guess people will be on the lookout for that one as we are talking. Anyways, a woman was found dead after she was shot and kidnapped in Whittier. It was targeted for a random attack. That's according to a new statement from the Whittier Police Department as the woman's mother tries to understand what happened.
There's no sense. There's nothing makes sense. Why he do that? Who is he? Why my daughter?
A man is behind bars on suspicion of killing the 19-year-old whose body was found in an open field in Moreno Valley on Monday night. Police say that she was sitting outside a car in a parking lot with her boyfriend early Sunday morning when someone fired gunshots in their direction. The boyfriend ran for help, and when he returned to the car, the woman was missing. It is not clear how she died. Moses Castillo, spokesperson for the victim's family, details what he knows so far.
They're sitting at the back of the car with the open trunk, and the next thing they know is this white truck shows up. A bang noise comes out.
Castillo says the gunman kidnapped the woman as her boyfriend ran for help.
The guy points the gun at him, and so he's afraid for his life, and he runs to go call for help. He sees another young couple there sitting at a park bench, and they also run for their life. When he finally sees this suspect drive off, he comes back to what he thinks to render aid.
I'm kind of confused. So he ran off and left his girlfriend behind for he could find help because he had a gun pointed at him? I mean, I'm just trying to follow along. Is that what they said? I'm just trying to figure it out. I mean, I'm being serious. It's kind of a weird one.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, suburban Riverside is rallying behind the police officers whose career has been derailed over a stolen T-shirt. Riverside Public Safety Director Matthew Buckley says that Zena Ramos has improved since admitting of stealing of a $15 T-shirt back in 2008.
Over the last 15 years, Zena has worked tirelessly to better herself. She has gone to school and studied criminal justice.
As a result of the theft, the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standard Board blocked Ramos from a certificate as she attempted to transfer to Cicero Police Department to Riverside Police Department. The Riverside boards have urged the officials to reverse their decision. So hold on. They're holding her still for a shirt that she sold back in 2008. I mean, sometimes I wonder about some of this stuff, and don't get me wrong here. Okay, so she stole the shirt back in 2008, $15. I'm not saying it's fine, but listen, do we know if the person's changed since then? Because, I mean, if she hasn't, we probably have a lot of questions, but geez, man, think about it for a moment. Anyways, 90% of all Americans have one. Bree Tennis tells you what the hell's going on.
One poll did a study, and it turns out Americans have an obsession with a junk drawer. They're usually in the kitchen, a treasure trove of stuff, important stuff. They all have rubber bands, flashlights, and probably chopsticks. Home improvement guy Bob Vila says they're necessary, and that's enough. I'm Bree Tennis, NBC News Radio.
Hey, there you go. It's enough if that's what he's saying, so there you go. He was once one of the best players in college football, but now former USC Trojans running back Reggie Bush will hold a press conference this morning to announce that he is suing the NCAA.
Bush went on to play in the NFL, says he's filing a defamation suit. He says it's based on the NCAA maliciously attacking his character and damaging his reputation. The suit centers around the Heisman Trophy. Bush won it in 2005, but NCAA investigators say he took cash, gifts, and his family lived rent-free. His statistics vacated by the NCAA, the trophy returned to the Heisman Trust. Bush wants the Heisman back, and that can only happen if the NCAA restores his numbers. I'm Phil Farrar.
So that's going to be an interesting one to take a look at as things do happen going forward. I mean, what do you think here? Do you think he has a merit? If you remember at early stages of his career, there was a lot of conversations about marijuana and stuff along those lines. So I'm wondering if that's what the part of the factor is going to be when they get into the shit show, because this is going to be a shit show. There just always end up being those kind of things. There is no way around it.
You are listening to a radio god. What? This has to be an error. That host is not a radio god. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Okay, take a listen to this. Grand Rapids Public School is giving families impacted by the delay of starting classes for the year at the district's Montessori Elementary free passes to the YMCA and Salvation Army. So at the Kroc Center, Mayor Carol Huffman with the Salvation Army says that it was an easy decision to make.
The Grand Rapids Public Schools reached out to us as our community partner and asked if we could step in and help the families in the Montessori schools that will be displaced because of the delay in starting their school year.
Okay, classes have been delayed until Monday at the earliest due to construction delay and workers getting sick. The passes have been used daily through Friday at either location. A parent or a caregiver is required to stay with the child at either location. Mayor Carol Huffman with the Salvation Army says that they were happy to welcome the Grand Rapids Montessori Elementary students and their family with free passes for the rest of the week. Due to the start of classes being delayed.
We have the gymnasium, as you can see, which is very busy. You see behind me. We have an aquatic center. We have a fitness program.
Well, it sure as shit sounds busy. I mean, I can tell you that much. I mean, that you can tell. Take a listen to this one. Bills have been introduced to legislate to restart Michigan TV and film incentives. State Representative Jason Hoskins of Southfield is one of the sponsors.
There are so many states, over 40 states and cities, that are doing a program like this. And right now, Michigan is not competing. Those places are eating our lunch and they're taking our talent.
Eating our lunch and taking our talent. Jeez, that's extreme. The incentives were in place from 2008 to 2015, but were capped and dissolved after a nonpartisan Senate fiscal agency determined the math was not in favor of state taxpayers. There are changes, including not giving checks to industry, but rather giving them to transferable tax credits with requirements for defined spending levels. The bill have bipartisan support in the House, but no Republican have co-sponsored it in the Senate. Representative Jason Hoskins says that the making changes to the proposed TV and film credit. Take a listen.
We're not writing a blank check and hoping that people come and do the work.
Okay. Sounds kind of interesting. I will say that. Anyways, Decatur Township is being sued by the company that wants to turn 650 acres of farmland into a solar energy facility, despite voters overwhelmingly rejecting the zoning ordinance change for the property. Christina lives near that land and says that the lawsuit is wrong.
This is unbelievably, it's industrial. It's going to ruin that river there. It's going to ruin our wildlife. It's going to ruin our property values.
Savient is the company backing the proposal and suing the township, and Savient is owned by Shell Oil Company. A statement from the company says that they're not seeking money for the lawsuit, but instead seeking confirmation that they can proceed with the project under the 2022 solar ordinance. Christine from the Decatur says that Savient is not working with the residents to propose the solar farm.
80% of us said no. Go to another town. Leave this town alone.
Okay, so there you go. We'll see what happens, because that's the way the cookie crumbles. I mean, seriously, it's the way the cookie crumbles. No doubt about that. Let's do the main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
So, if you like music, and you like older music in particular, we might have something to talk about. If you don't like older music, the next time that I make, or by the time that I make reference to this next thing, you're going to be like, you just wanted to curse on the radio, and that was it. But have you ever heard of a song by 9 Inch Nails that's called Starfuckers Incorporated? If we were just doing the radio side, I would play it, but unfortunately, because we're doing video and social media at the moment, I can't do it. But it's essentially a song talking about how other people are jumping on bandwagons just to try to make themselves popular in regards of a genre. And you're probably sitting back for a moment and going, what in the hell does this have to do with anything related to safety? And that's a great question. I don't mind it. I think it's a good question for you to ask. I think it's a good question for us to discuss. I think it's a good question for you to go, what the hell is going on? So here's the thing. I don't understand why our industry has this terrible trend where people want to jump on board of what other people are doing. Listen, I'm not talking about learnings, but they want name affiliation and name association to things that really have nothing to do with them, but they just want to be tied into. If you want to see this in particular, you might want to hang out on LinkedIn for a little bit and see all of the tags that people might tag other people, like famous authors, famous speakers, famous people that are in that particular genre, just to make sure that people know that there is some level, according to them, of association with whoever the speaker, writer, thinker is. And I don't even know why I hit that. But I don't know. It gets very confusing. Like, I see this one group that's constantly out there. And regardless of what is popular, that is the new thing that they're following. They constantly are jumping on board. And listen, I understand that you're in the industry to help out, but I also understand that you're in the industry trying to make money off of whatever's popular at the time. And it's the tags, it's how they're associated to X, Y, and Z. And if you take a listen to what they are spinning, spewing, or talking about, is just repackaged information that belongs to other people. And they'll be thankful, quote unquote, for whoever that industry leader is at the moment, because their work is based on the work that somebody else was doing. Our work is heavily inspired by the work of X. And listen, inspiration and admiration, I get it. I mean, that there is no problem there. That's not the issue. It's the issue of trying to associate your name with whoever it is to make yourself popular. Now, if you start looking at some of these larger organizations that are out there are organizations that are still doing behavior-based safety, but they are tying themselves in saying that they are doing HOP. I mean, and at best, I would say that they're not even doing HOP light. They're doing behavior-based safety with HOP wording inside of it. And they want to thank the people that created HOP. I mean, I see a group of people, of authors is really what it boils down to. I guess you can call them authors, that do the same thing regardless of whatever's popular. And I just get very confused. It's like, do you essentially end up watering down what you have going on by doing so? It gets very strange. It gets very weird sometimes. So I like talking about this, even though it drives other people crazy, because I go, what is the point of this? What is the point of bringing some of this stuff up if it does not seem legit to what's going on? So if you take the 9 Inch Nails song Starfuckers, and do you look at it and go, are you the safety starfuckers? I mean, it's very strange. I look at it and go, how do we get into these conversations sometimes? And should we even have them out loud? Because it just gets weird. No, seriously, it just gets weird. Like weird. Not kind of weird, just like really weird.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. BIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. BIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with BIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take BIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have any body to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Pop quiz hotshot. During a heat wave, what's more important, air conditioning or air guitar?
Is it air conditioning?
Air guitar. The answer is always air guitar.
Yeah, this is Wave Haven, excuse me. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. This one's called We Come Alive. You are still listening This is Jay Allen in the Morning Show, hour number one of the Radio Big. Listen to me. Hour number one of the Jay Allen in the Morning Show, also known as the Rated R Safety Show. And someday I'll get all my words right. But that would mean we would need to practice. We would need to practice what we're talking about. And we don't really do a lot of that around here. We just yap. There's a lot of yapping, I feel like. So, there you go. Anyways, we want to thank Wave Hagen for allowing us to play this here. Always important. Doing all the new muse. Because if not, what else would we be doing? Think about it. So let's get into the move and the groove of the things that are happening inside of the world here. So let's get into it. Let me tell you real quick about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime. And that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to twloha.com. Listen, To Write Love on Her Arms wants you to know that people have been where you are now and things can get better. Things can get better. So keep that in mind. Always important to talk about. Always important to sit back, relax, and go, yes, this is part of the equation. This is part of what is going on. So just remember that, okay? twloha.com. Click on the section that says Find Help. There's all kinds of information about them, how to get involved, stories, events, how to donate, even their store location. Now, listen, I will tell you, if you were to run through my wardrobe, besides it, the first thing you would notice is that almost everything that I own is black. You would also notice that, you would notice that a good chunk of my shirts are from To Write Love on Her Arms. And listen, it's never a sponsored ad because that's not what I'm looking for. What we're looking for is to make sure that we're able to share the information. So it's about sharing the information. So there you go. Oh, look, talking about their website, they finally have the silicone bracelets back in stock because I have recently busted mine. So good to see that they have them. Sorry that I brought that up, but it's the truth. Okay, so there you go. twloha.com for more information. What else do we have? So let's take a look around at some things that are going on inside of the world. Remember when if you saw someone watching TV with subtitles turned on, you immediately assumed that they were hard of hearing? Well, that's not the case any longer, possibly thanks to the fact that TikTok has helped normalize the captions of young media consumers. A UK survey found that 80% of people age 18 to 25 use subtitles all of the part of the time when watching TV. And the poll of TV viewers, U.S. found that 70% of Gen Z respondents rely on caption most of the time, compared to 35% of baby boomers, that's 59 to 77. In Gen Z's defense, their parents did tell them that they should read more. The very thought is laughable a few years ago, but when Gen Z has canceled the fan favorite acronym LOL, instead, the slang generation has coined the compliance term, whatever the hell that is. Guess it means I burst into laughing immediately. Isn't quite as catchy as a milestone as LMAO, ROFL, or LOL. Pronounced evil is more closely associated with Gen Z humor. With, if you ask a Gen Zer, is funnier? Am I dating myself? Then when I text, ha 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 ha, people don't know what the hell to reply. Don't worry, I still use LOL, and people don't really say much of anything in regards of a reply, so I kind of know that my stuff is outdated, so there you go. Take a listen to this. The state is looking into complaints made against a gas station in Cherfield County, Virginia. Richard Sterling has more. Take a listen to this.
Customers claimed the gas they got from an Exxon on Robius Road was full of water and had damaged their engines. Gas station owner Harman Singh says there was a problem with the pumps one day last month, and once it was discovered, he shut them off. Some drivers, though, reported similar problems a week later. The Department of Weights and Measures started investigating 2 weeks ago, and the store is not allowed to sell gas for now. Singh tells 8 News he has reimbursed 6 drivers. I'm Richard Stelling.
Okay, but reimbursing for fuel is not going to be the same thing as a repair that potentially happened inside of your gas station. I know, not trying to be an ass, but just think about it. Anyways, an Omaha daycare where a child died after being left in a hot van is now temporarily closed. Cena Johnson, the mother of the 1-year-old victim, Mia Worthington, spoke out at protests outside of the daycare.
It had to been around, 8 in the morning? 8 in the morning till we didn't get called till 3. My daughter, like I said, she could have been there 8-7 hours. No windows down, no nothing. Screaming, crying. Nobody heard anything. But everybody's in this building while she's literally outside in the parking lot.
The Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services has issued emergency order shutting down the facility after Monday's tragedy. The driver of the daycare van, 62-year-old Ryan William, faces charges of child abuse by neglect resulting in death. Brittany Martinez has a child in the daycare and says that the death is unforgivable.
It's unimaginable that anybody left a baby in a car. I have no sympathy for anybody who forgot a baby in a car. You don't forget your phone. You don't forget your purse.
A lot of stuff going on there. There is no doubt about that as we are talking. Take a listen to this. Authorities say that multiple deaths in South Carolina County could be due to a deadly drug. Take a listen.
The Chesterfield County Sheriff's Office says several deaths are likely the result of fentanyl poisoning. Deputies responded to at least 3 deaths in the Cheraw area in recent days. Reports say one other person connected to the deaths was taken to the hospital in critical condition, also likely with fentanyl poisoning. In a Facebook post, the Chesterfield County Sheriff says he wants to remind the public not to touch or ingest any substance that may contain fentanyl and contact law enforcement immediately. I'm Matt McClure.
I don't think if anybody knew that it was there, they would just randomly take it. I mean, I'm just saying, what the hell do I know, though? Anyways, investigators in Ventura County believe that a man found dead in the ocean last weekend was stabbed to death. Daniel Martindale reports.
The body pulled from the water near Point Magoo on Saturday had puncture wounds to the torso and abdomen. The body was found near Family Beach, which is on the property of Naval Base Ventura County. The victim has been identified as a 51-year-old Los Angeles resident. No arrests have been made. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Okay, thank you, Daniel Martindale, for the information of what the hell is going on. For sure there. Okay, so with that being said, it is 51 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's bring some John Smalls back in here and let him tell us about what the hell is going on with the Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Dale. Sam Phillips said, "If you're not doing something different, you're not doing anything." I love this quote. Each day, we march through life 1 second at a time. Some people stay in the same lane that everyone ahead of them has taken, but some people veer into a different lane. They blaze their own trail, and they try something new. Some of these people will hit a bump in the road and get back on the safe path. Others will take the bumps and the bruises and they'll keep on going. These are the ones who blaze the new trails that others will someday take, but they won't take them until that's a safe path because of that first person. Being a trailblazer is not for everyone, and their path is often not an easy one. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Massachusetts is awarding $141 million as part of the state's student loan repayment program. About 3,000 primary care and behavioral health providers will get assistance to pay their student loans. Those eligible include doctors, nurses, mental health, and substance abuse recovery counselors. In return for the help, recipients agree to spend 2 years working in underserved communities statewide. Hollywood studio Lionsgate is bringing back a mask mandate for its Santa Monica office. The move comes in response to a new wave of employees contracting COVID. And a private college in Atlanta will be requiring face masks for the next 2 weeks. Leaders at Morris Brown said this week that precautionary measures are being taken due to an increase in COVID cases. Health updates, Sarah Lee Kessler, NBC News Radio.
Okay, thank you, Sarah Lee, for the information right there about what's going on. So what do you think? What do you think about this with the potential new mask mandate in certain areas? If it does come back around where you're at, how are you feeling about this? Because you know it's going to get weird for some in regards of what the hell's going on. It's just kind of the way that it goes. Let's not lie here. Let's not lie. Anyways, let's talk about some other things. An American dentist is being sentenced to life in prison for murdering his wife while the two were in a safari in Africa. Colt Finnegan with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Colorado made the announcement on Tuesday.
No matter how wealthy you are, no matter how well connected you are, the long arm of the law will find you and justice will arrive for you. No one is above the law.
Last year, a jury found Lawrence Rudolph guilty of killing his wife Bianca in Zambia back in 2016. He shot his wife through the heart on the last day of the hunt, attempting to make it look like it was an accident. He then filed for more than $4 million in fraudulent insurance claims after he went back to the USA. Court sentenced Rudolph to 240 years in prison for mail fraud and ordered him to pay nearly $5 million in restitution. So there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. What a crazy time. Take a listen to this real quick. The tropical storm Hillary didn't just bring a lot of rain to Southern California. It gave a lot of people headaches, too. Daniel Martindale explains.
Google searches and social media posts involving the words headache and Hillary spiked last weekend. Doctors say that's because of the sudden drop in barometric pressure, which is a measure of the weight of the Earth's atmosphere. The pressure change affected people's sinus and nasal cavities since those parts of the body are air channels. This is a common occurrence during hurricanes and tropical storms elsewhere. I'm Daniel Martindale.
Okay, let's talk about it. Back on this day in 2007, the new trend was first used in a tweet by the U.S. product designer Chris Messina. He tweeted, "How do you feel about using pound for groups as in pound bar camp message?" Now, keep in mind when I say pound, that's what people refer to as hashtag. That occurred back in 2007. Anyways, let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. Little Yachty. Yeah, well, he turns 26 today. Francisco Real turns 29. Seth Curry, 33. Jeremy Lin, 35. Julian Casablancas, 45. Scott Can, 47. Tina Ramsey turns 49. And Rick Springfield turns 74 today. That's what's going on inside of the world of birthdays. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, well, it's National Cuban Sandwich Day, Cheap Flight Day, Valentino Day, National Ride the Wind Day, and National Sponge Cake Day. So there you go. That's some days to celebrate if you're so inclined to do so. Anything stick out to you that you're interested in? I don't know. I'm asking you. So let's talk about some whack facts. Wind doesn't make a sound until it blows against an object. Rainbows are actually circular. We just don't typically see the full circle rainbow because the Earth horizon blocks the lower parts. There are 12 times more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way. At least there were before this year's wildfire season. The fedora hat, was originally made for women. The most successful pirate in history was a woman. And the wealthy in Russia sometimes hire fake ambulances instead of taxis for faster and more convenient ways of getting to their destination. Think about that. That's quite different. So there you go. If you need a random joke for today, try this one. As a family, we couldn't decide whether to have grandma buried or cremated. So in the end, we decided to let her live. If you need a phone starter for today, try this. What is the worst new job experience you've ever had? If you need something for the water cooler, try this. Men spend about 42 minutes more on this task each week than women do. What is it? Eating. Eating. That's the answer. Eating. Would have never guessed that one, but there you go. So anyways, that's going to sum up our time together. Sheldon Primus coming in, taking over on Safety FM if you want to hang out there. If not, you can go to the other side of the house and go to radiobig.fm as I will hang out and do the world of music for the next couple hours or so. So you're more than welcome to do either one. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do what we do around here. If I can't leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. Never interrupt your enemy when he's making a mistake. Think about that. Isn't that a kind of a fun one to think about? Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.